Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got quite a nice rack, 2 S's, all bingo-y tiles, but do I have a bingo? Fairly high probability if I do. Onto an S, I would have seagrass. Gosh, so annoying to miss a bingo here, but I'm not seeing one. So, what to do? I guess I could play gas, leaving a pretty good 4-letter set. I am going with this. Well, not great. I don't think I have a bingo, but it's a very balanced rack, so I should have no difficulty in playing something. Can I get value from the X? A short play on my opening move has prevented opponent from getting any play doubled. There is, of course, access to triple word squares. Now, is there really no bingo with this rack? Wow, opponent has a bingo. Fantastic for him. So, can I come back? Pre-tax is not good, but pre-tax is. Apterixes would need a Y. Can't see anything with the X. What about the 2-letter sets? So I have the X beginning, so it's not a terribly non-bingo-y rack. AG, nothing. TA, not seeing anything. How about ES? No. Okay, do I have a double-double through the R? Not that I can see. I do have pre-tax in my back pocket. What about a play in row H? Not seeing anything, so I think this is my play. Pre-tax for 32. Wow, the rack is moving further away from being a bingo after the excellent opening rack. 5 vowels. Severely limiting in terms of bingos. One reason I liked pre-tax is that it reduced the value that opponent could get from the triple word square, and it's not offering a huge amount for my opponent in any hot spots, but it's also keeping the board open, which I'd like since I trail. Now I have UI on my rack, which would sort the rack out, and I could play that beside the X where opponent has gone, so I can't. Now, do I really not have a bingo here? Nothing with the P. Nothing with the R or the V. And the 2-letter sets don't look promising. So, what to do? Ogive has taken out UI. Do I have somewhere else for that? Well, not parallel to treated and gas or to pre-tax. So I don't think I do. And one of the problems with 5 vowel racks is the risk of keeping a vowel heavy rack leave and then having another vowel heavy rack and a succession of low scores, so I'd really like to avoid that. How about playing UI here for 11 points, keeping the board open? Is this the right thing to do? Just wondering about playing docks, but I can't see anything which scores well. How about a play down from OX beginning with the O? No, not saying anything. Well, the score's wretched, but I'm going with this. Well, another non-bingo rack, and F and V go particularly badly together. However, I have Fauve and Fave on my rack. Fauve, my preference, because it burns the U as well. But is there anywhere for that? Vox is good, but EG isn't. Favus is also good. Uoi doesn't take an S. So I'm not seeing anywhere for Fove at the moment. Ogive takes an S. FU and V are the problem tiles here, so anything which gets rid of all of them would be worth considering. Now, I do have Fove in column 6 onto the E of treated, keeping SED. I think the same keep as I had last time. So that will be quite handy should it remain available. I have Favus and Socks, not particularly dangerous because the V doesn't take a tile in front of it and Socks doesn't either. But it doesn't score hugely and it burns my S. So I trail by 48, but opponent's on turn, so I'm going to be even further behind, and opponent is taking a while with his play. E always slightly dangerous because of the Z. Opponent could play G's for a big score, so Fove will take out that danger, but it will also stop me making that play. But this E not as dangerous as it might be because ZO and ZA don't play, or ZE. Now, just 9 points for opponent. Fantastic. And Fove remains available. Do I have anything better? Fove isn't going to score very much. It's just about sorting the rack out. But it sorts it out very well indeed, and 19 isn't terrible. I'm going with this. Wow, I draw 2 high-scoring tiles in the Z and the Q, and I've just jettisoned my U. So, a very non-bingo-y rack. And I trail by 30. What about a play in row H? I could just stick my Q there. That doesn't feel great. What's the best I can do with my Q on this board? Not very much. I just don't have the vowels to get rid of it. And it doesn't go well with B or Z. So I think it's just QI, but that might be worth considering. Well, opponent takes that out, plays another U in a spot which I can't use. So now the best I can do with my Q is just sticking it in front of the I's on the board, of which there are many. So, do I have anything through? I thought I had bark for a minute, but I have no A. Just looking at placing the Q in front of the U of Fove. Not seeing anything. So, is there a way of playing off the B and the Z? I trail by 70, so I'm not in great shape. I can play buys through the I of ogive. I can play bez here for 40 points, decent score, and if I draw a U, I have quads. And the D in any event goes well with the Q because of Cade and Caddy, and bez isn't giving much away. Opponent will struggle to score off the Z. I am going with this. Well, I do have an A, so I have Caddy now in column 13, which is good. But I also have 3 high-scoring tiles, and I don't think I'm going to get rid of the M or the P with the Q. Through an R, I would have Korma. No R's available. Now, let me come back to R and U. Wow, 40 points for opponent. That's pretty good, and he's blocked my Caddy spot. Now I have Dampy, and I think this is going to be worth doing for score. Still one U to come. 48 points, that's pretty handy. Yeah. I can't play the O instead of the A, and this gets rid of tiles which don't go well with the Q. I'm going with this. And I trail by 22, but I'm a million miles away from a bingo, and I may consider changing here. If I kept ARS, that would be a very good 3-letter set. Quite a few E's to come. But if I don't change, what am I going to score? Wow, worst possible time for me for opponent to bingo. 73 points, so I trail by 100. Should I change? I think I have to, unless I can get value from the Q. And I can't see any way of doing that, or of playing off some of my duplicates. So I am going to change, and I'll keep ARS. Well, a lot better than my previous rack. But I don't think there's a bingo here. My A were an E, I would have answered in row A. So I have the ward ending. I have the where ending, but not too many floaters to consider. What about the F? Not seeing anything there. A, not useful. How about the M? No. So I'm looking to get value from the W and play off the A, and simply doing those two things would leave a very good 5-letter set. So I could play OR and ZAR, tempting opponent to play down from the W, which would create floaters. Well, opponent's gone in that spot. How annoying, given how many places there are to play on the board. And I can't play AW in this spot. I could play one rather. Still 4 N's to come. That's helpful because double N is non-bingo-y. Ordinarily, N would help this 4-letter set. This scores 22 points. Keeps the bottom of the board alive and the top of the board alive, and column 2 is pretty hot with docks and socks. Is there somewhere better than 1? It's not a great score. And the W is a good scoring tile, or can be. No, I am going with this. And I do draw an N, so I have Senora and Horson on my rack. So Horson plays in column 2 with knocks. Now, just 24 for opponent, that's good. Do I have anything ending in Y? No. How about a play ending in D? Well, that's Hadrone, so that doesn't work. Anywhere for my 7s. WA not good, otherwise Senhora could play. I do have Senhora and Ogives, but that's sticking an R over this double triple word square, so I'm not a fan of that. Can't see anything. Wow, I was about to say I can't see anything ending in M, and I can't, but there are 4 anagrams here. There's Ramnose, Horseman, Menoras, and Shoreman, I think, so none of those end in M. I trail by 110. Hardnose is another anagram with the D. So let me come back to my search for 7-letter lanes. Row L. Nothing overlaps Gen 2s with my 2 bingos. Senhora gets the H tripled. Maybe this is worth doing. 78 points, which is okay. I'm placing a consonant over this triple word square, not a vowel. So opponent would have to use an E in that spot. I'm leaving alone columns 2 and row A, and I probably will need 2 bingos to win this game, and there are 2 blanks to come. So, and the alternative is Horson. 72 points, 6 fewer points, placing an E next to this triple word square. So I think Senhora is a better play. I could be missing an even better one and would be if there's a play ending in Y, but I'm not seeing it. I am going with this. And I dodged the blanks, which is frustrating. And I have a pretty non-bingo-y rack. I do have an E for going under the R if opponent cares to leave that. He doesn't, but look at this, only 9 points. Fantastic. So I trail by 40. 2 blanks to come. And this feels like a rack I can sort out. But can I sort it out and score? That's a lot harder. So I'd like to hang on to my E, only 2 to come. Let me check the remaining vowels. 6 out of 21, not many vowels. And I don't like the L's on my rack. What can I do about that? Tricky. So I could play Holly with a view to leaving ENT and turning over tiles. It doesn't score massively. But I am close enough to opponent that I can take a low score. But let me consider this Eye of Ire, because maybe I can, well, Hill, much better, 24 points. And I'm hanging on to the O. Ordinarily, I would prefer ENT to ENOT, but given the vowel shortage, I think this is better. Can I do even better? I don't think so. Not many opportunities on this board to only play consonants. I am going with this. I have Jacanet and Tox not good and EG not good. What a shame. That would be an immense word. Yeah, there's nowhere for it. Okay, and my lead is not my lead, my opponent's lead of 17 points. Well, there are 2 blanks to come and a Q and a U, so I'm going to be a lot further behind. And it's unlikely I'll get my bingo down. So what can I do with my J? I have Joe and Jar, so the J actually is quite a handy tile. If that stays available, it will be a good score and a very good rack leave. And row A pretty hot for bingos ending in D, and column 2 also. So I am not out of this game yet. What if opponent blocks Joe, just like he did with AW earlier? Do I have a second good J spot? Well, I do, but it kills row A as a bingo lane. Now, opponent's played. Fantastic, he's burnt 2 vowels. So, this is what I'm thinking. Joe for 41 points is going to give me the lead. It's a fantastic 5-letter set. And if I draw a blank and dodge the Q, I've probably got an unblockable bingo. So I have Cantref and Fox. Fantastic. Will that stay available? And I have a lead. Do I have a second bingo? Do I have anything ending in D or A? I don't think so. This is a very special set of tiles in that it creates a bingo, but only creates 1 7 and not many 8s. So is opponent going to leave column 2 alone? Floating F, double F can feature quite well in plays, but I'm not seeing a bingo there. Now, what about P and A together? Well, not seeing a bingo. I have after as a prefix. Not seeing anything ending A or M. So really it's a bingo or nothing at the moment in terms of what I've spotted. But if my bingo is blocked, only 6 tiles in the bag. I'll be looking to get value from the F. Cantref certainly won't guarantee victory, given how close we are. And the Q could be vital. 11 minutes on opponent's clock, 8 on mine. Joe was a really handy score, 41 points. Remaining tiles very non-bingo-y, but if opponent's got both blanks, he's probably got a bingo. But I suspect he's going to be more drawn to row A than column 2. Row A will score more, and column 2 opens access to column 1, so would be less desirable for opponents. But if he's only got a bingo which plays in column 2, that's where he'll play. So what am I going to do with my F? Well, if opponent plays in column 2, there are going to be options in column 1. However, I do have FA and far, but I think that's unlikely to be the best play. If opponent plays in column 2, I'll be wanting to keep bingo lanes open. Not seeing anywhere hot for the F around the rest of the board. It's all looking quite tight apart from the 2 bingo lanes that are available. Very interesting opponent's play of Jew. He wasn't blocking anything with that. And what sort of rack was he sorting out? Well, he can't have had the Q, otherwise he wouldn't have burnt his U. So the Q was in the bag. And he was drawing 3 tiles from 11. So that's about a 25% chance of having the Q. Interesting. What's he going to do if he does have that? Well, he's likely to have one of the blanks, I would say. So he could play Queen and Knox. That would be a shame. That would take out row 1 as a bingo lane. So the wait continues. 9 minutes on opponent's clock. He's taking a while with this play. But only 6 tiles in the bag, so neither of us in time trouble. Opponent may want to take out column 2 because it's a 7-letter lane, whereas row A is an 8-letter lane. But if opponent has the Q, even if he's got both blanks, I think he's going to struggle to bingo. I would have thought if he had a bingo, he would have played by now. Ignoring the blanks, the rest of the tiles are pretty non-bingo-y. And opponent's blocked Cantref. Agony. Agony of agonies. And he's emptied the bag. Gosh. How irksome. I guess he just didn't have a bingo in row A. That would have required more vowels. So what am I going to do here? Tricky. I don't have a bingo. The bag's empty. So the game is lost. Trail by 50. Can opponent be stuck with the Q? Unlikely with a blank available, but let me just consider that. So he's got Qua and Quad, top right. What else does he have? He has QI and Chin, so he definitely isn't stuck. So I'm looking to go out in 2. Opponent doesn't have a massive Q spot that I should be blocking. I don't have anything great in column 1 because neither F or C go in front of the I. But I do have fret in this spot for 32 points. Do I have 2 outs for can, far, and an? Is there a second out? Well, if there isn't, I probably ought to keep looking for a better out. Cane is good, so I do have 2 outs. Yep, I am. Am I going with this? Yep, I'm not gifting anything massive to opponents. What a shame about Cantref. That would have been such good fun. So Where's the best spot for can? I think it's column 7. Wow, nice play by opponent. And I have can for 14. And the final score, 373 for me, 418 for my opponent, a winning margin of 45 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Such a close game, and it all hinged on column 2. Opponent and I both had bingos in that lane, and opponent got his down. So it was me to go first. Well, I didn't miss a bingo, which is good, and not many points on offer, so I like my play of gas and the rack leave of ears. Great opening rack for opponent, and a good bingo. And I played pre-tax, and I was waiting for something much better to come up, and it hasn't, so that seems fine. Horrible rack for opponent, plays ogive. Now I have a tricky rack. So I play oi, which doesn't appear on this list. L3, voidy, that's nice, 22 points. Does keep the U, but only the U, so that's not terrible. Yeah, I think that would have been a much better play. So I play oi, opponent's got a ton of eyes, plays TT. And now I play fauve, which isn't on this list, but my rack leave of DES is much better than any of these rack leaves. So what is on offer? H12, diva, and die. Let me have a look at this score difference. 16 more points. Is FSU 16 points worse than DES? Probably not. They both have the S. So FSU, S worth 8 to 10, but both F and U drag it back. I would suspect all the way back to 0. Whereas DES is good. All of those tiles help each other. So 8, probably about 15, 14 or 15 for DES. So I think there's a 15-point difference in rack leaves and a 16-point difference in score. I prefer my play with the better rack leave. Now, opponent's rack plays Jusai, and I trail by 70. Zo for 43, wow. I played Bez for 40, but Zo E9. D, Z, O, Z and OU. Quite nice, but B and Q don't go well together, so I prefer my play. Opponent's rack plays Milky, and now I have Dampy, which was a great score and kept me in the game. But look at this, fantastic bingo by opponent. Gen 2's the only bingo playable, and I trail by 100 with an awful rack, and I change. And look at this. This is what I was facing, playing Chi for 11 with this rack leaf, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent drawn quite nicely from his bingo. Quite vowel heavy, plays Oi. And what do? I play 1 for 22. And I could have got 8 more points. L1, waiver. Well, that allows opponent to score off the W. But if we go back, I played 1 keeping ears, and ears is much better than ANS, so it's probably not much between those plays. Opponent has Elysian, and it plays, wow, C2, Elysian and Nox, gosh, big miss, plays Inlay, and now I do get a bingo down, Senhora. And look at this, just 32 points between us. And opponent has all these vowels. Wow. Plays Aya. And now I play Hill, which I like. And I'm still within reach, just 17 points behind opponent. And this is where opponent plays Jew. So he played it from this rack, keeping EINS. Nice play. That's a good 4-letter set. And opponent's certainly hogging the vowels. So I have Jacanet, nowhere for it, but Jar is pretty good. Decent score, decent rack leave. In fact, I played Joe keeping ACENT. Ordinarily A better than O on your rack, but O goes well with C and N, so there could be an argument for Jar rather than Joe. Here we go. This was the move opponent spent ages with before breaking everyone's hearts but his own by playing winners. And now I have to bingo to win, and I can't see one. So A1 freight, that's not massively different from my play, and I suspect there may not be two outs with CN, so I like my play. Opponent plays Burka, and finally can B7. That was my play. So, what a game. Super exciting stuff. Opponent got off to a great start with Treated. I was a bingo behind and stayed behind for quite a while, and then in the middle of the game and towards the end, I came back into the game and got to within about 20 of opponent, and then opponent and I both had very bingo-y racks, and opponent was able to get his bingo down and empty the bag, and I was unable to reply in kind and agonizingly missed out at the death. So many congratulations to my opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.